Tonight, Hillary Clinton is back on the campaign trail, but her numbers are not back to where they once were. Can she reboot her run to the White House? And can she shake Donald Trump? Analysis plus my special commentary. Plus, we're going to have new developments in the Chappaqua teacher-student sex scandal. We now know what school board members were saying as word spread of those lurid allegations, and it was not a sign of sympathy for those teenage victims. And he could be the Democrat that challenged Bill de Blasio in next year's New York City mayoral primary. But the question is, will Bronx Borough President Ruben Diaz Jr. get into the race? He sat down 101 with our own Dominic Carter. Evening, everybody, and welcome to RFL. Let's cover in the next 60 minutes. I'm Richard French, and thank you for joining us. We're going to start where else but on the campaign trail, which for the first time since Saturday included the presence of one Hillary Clinton. Her return, it comes just 58 days from the election, and with only 11 days to go before that critical first debate of the general election, we have a lot. That debate will take place with extra importance, if that's even possible. That as Clinton's numbers continue to slip in those latest polls, and as Donald Trump, sensing a shift in momentum, continues to ramp up those attacks. Hillary Clinton itching to get to work on the campaign trail.
I'm doing great. Thank you so much.
The Democratic nominee was on the Tom Joyner Morning Show, sidestepping questions about criticism of her revealed in Colin Powell's emails released by Russian hackers. Instead, Clinton went right for Trump.
I'm not going to start discussing someone else's private emails. I've already spent a lot of time talking about my own. I'm increasingly concerned by how we've seen Donald Trump's alarming closeness with the Kremlin.
Trump is clearly ready for his Democratic rival's return.
I don't know, folks. You think Hillary would be able to stand up here for an hour and do this?
Polls continue to tighten as the health of the candidates takes center stage. Trump took the results of his physical to the Dr. Oz show.
I feel as good today as I did when I was third.
Dr. Oz concluded Trump is in good shape. Clinton's doctor said the same, but in a more detailed report. This morning, Trump also reacted to this moment on the trail in Flint, Michigan yesterday, when the pastor of a black church shut him down during a political attack.
Everything she touched didn't work out. Nothing. Now Hillary Clinton.
Mr. Trump, I invited you here to thank us for what we've done in Flint,
Okay.
not
Okay.
to give a political speech.
Okay, that's good. Then I'm going to go back onto Flint. Okay.
Trump called the pastor a nervous mess. So in probably the most divisive political time in recent memory, at least, let's try and start with at least what we can agree on. There's not much here, but at least let's start there. We're in the home stretch, the thing's tightening up, and for a whole lot of Americans, when they go into the voting booth on November 8th, they're going to hold their nose when they're going to pick who they believe is the lesser of two evils. Okay, I get that. I may not agree with it, but I get it. But this canard that's being trotted out there, and reflected in the polls, I may add, that they're both the same article, one just in a pantsuit and the other with a blazer and a red baseball hat, it's utter nonsense. Now, you hear it day after day from me and other people here, but I'm going to just point to yesterday. There's two examples that I think are Exhibit A and Exhibit B in what I'm talking about. So, Trump goes on Dr. Oz, not exactly the Surgeon General, but I digress, and he pulls a Monty Hall with, should we show what's behind door number 3?
Well, I have really no problem in doing it. I have it right here. I mean, should I do it? I don't care. Should I do it? Yeah. It's two letters. One is the report, and the other is from Lenox Hill Hospital.
May I see them?
Saying, yeah, sure.
So these are the report. This is from.
Those were all the tests that were just done last week.
The letter, again sprung on a TV doctor, verified nothing. Like everything with the man, it was great theater, but there was no substance to it. Conversely, Hillary released far more detailed documents that, while still short of what some recent candidates divulged, was a heck of a lot more illuminating than her opponents. Today, however, and I think some of it fairly, given how she exactly released the information of her pneumonia, nonetheless, Hillary is on defense about her health, even though we know more about hers than her opponents. And the same thing goes for their respective foundations. Trump, he accuses the Clinton Foundation of pay for play, even though the foundation, the Clinton Foundation, has repeatedly gotten top marks from independent organizations for the aid that they give to the neediest, as well as for the administration oversight that ensures roughly 90 cents of every buck they raise goes to the intended populations and the rest to overhead. They get A grades here across the board, and they help real people. And no evidence shows, even though it's ham-handed, I agree with you, that somehow the State Department and the Clinton Foundation worked hand in hand. Conversely, the Trump Foundation, when it's not stiffing groups of promised gifts that they never deliver, they've purchased Tebow helmets, Trump portraits, and when he actually follows through on a donation and he brags of his personal generosity, for 100% fact, all he's doing is using other people's money and pretending it's his. Okay, the other item yesterday were those hacked emails of Colin Powell. The former secretary clearly is not president of either fan club of either Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump's. But if you compare his choice of words, and today in the media people made it sound like he was equally disgusted with both, dislike and disgust, they're not exactly the same thing. Now, while he wrote of respect for Mrs. Clinton, which he does, he did say he would rather not vote for her, describing the Democratic presidential nominee as having, and I'm quoting directly, a long track record, unbridled ambition, greedy, and non-transformational. Not exactly what you want on your Hallmark card. But I want you to contrast it to what he said about Trump, a national disgrace. Again, pot and kettle, not exactly. Now, in every example I laid out, and there's dozens more here, you don't want to hear it all, we lump the two together as if they're comparables, when their sins, their lies, and their transparencies are anything but equal. I get it. When it comes to Hillary, her biggest defenders would call her guarded, and her most objective observers would call her paranoid. I probably think the truth is somewhere in the middle. But again, I ask you, if that's the grade and that's how you're going to judge her, where does that leave Trump? Now, not too many weeks, all of us are going to have to answer that question. And I hope whoever we decide on, and the media hopefully will be a part of this, it's a fair test. Right now, I'm not so sure. Okay, we will jump to a quick commercial break. When we come back, I'll bring the panel to get into that and so much more. Stay with us, everybody. RFL gets started right after this.